A man who went blind at 20 said it was the worst thing that had ever happened to him until he met a man who lost both his legs in an accident. "Ah, that's nothing," the one-legged man said. "Wait till you meet a guy who lost his sense of humor." That's what I used to think. I thought losing my dad and the subsequent string of bad luck that followed would take away my sense of humor. I thought I would spend the rest of my life walking around the world with a long face and bad things happening to me. But there's something we don't talk about much. There's a common misconception that grief and losing someone we love takes away our sense of humor. But most of the time it does the opposite. Most of the time it gives us one hell of a revenge. Let me explain. I grew up in a household where dinner table conversations consisted of arguing politics, playing mental games, and comedic jabs at one another. My dad's favorite saying was, "Don't argue. Argue. Now that I'm gone, you'll see who really loves you." On the surface, it seems a bit dark, but for anyone who knew my father, they know how much he loved us and how proud he was of us. It was his way of saying, when the rubber hits the road and it gets real, you'll see who is there for you. I've seen enough family fallouts during holidays and weddings to know that my dad wasn't wrong. Fortunately, my siblings and I took his advice to heart. It was October 30th, 2009. I was hanging out with my best friend. We got done filming one of our YouTube videos and decided to go out for some dinner. He texted his wife, who was working late, that he'd be home a bit later than expected. As we approached the restaurant, we heard the screech of tires and a loud crash. We turned toward the noise and saw my friend's car crumpled on the side of the street. I rushed to the driver's seat and found my friend slumped over the steering wheel. Blood covered the front of his shirt. In a panic, I dialed 911. Then I remembered his wife. I grabbed my phone and dialed hers. She answered. "I'm on my way home," she said. "Be there soon." "Your husband just got in an accident," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "What?" "Silence. He's hurt," I said. "I think he needs help." "Where?" "Silence. He's here," I said. "Come quickly." At that moment, something changed in her voice. The sweet, caring woman I had heard on the other end of the line was suddenly sharp and angry. "That's why I told him not to stay late," she snapped. I was taken aback. "What do you mean?" "I told him to leave work early, but he never listens." The tone of her voice sent a chill down my spine. Was this what my friend was hiding from her? Had this been going on for a while? "He's still alive," I said. "But please, hurry up." She hung up and I went back to my friend. His breathing was weak and shallow. His eyes were open. "Stay with me," I whispered. "Help is on the way." As I cradled his head in my lap, my friend looked at me and he whispered, "Tell my wife I love her." His eyes slowly began to flutter shut. "Don't worry," I said. "She's on her way." Seconds later, he stopped breathing. Right then, my friend's wife arrived. I walked her over to the driver's seat. She opened the door and gently caressed his cheek. "It's okay," she said softly. "You're okay." She leaned closer and shouted, "Why didn't you listen to me?" Then she threw her head back and screamed, "I told you not to stay late." As the paramedics arrived, she stood there screaming at the top of her lungs. Paramedics rushed forward, pushing me out of the way. They tried to resuscitate him, but it was too late. My friend was pronounced dead at the scene. The anger in my friend's wife puzzled me. I couldn't understand why she would scream at him after he had just died. Then I remembered something she had said earlier. I told him not to stay late. "You okay?" I asked. She looked at me with cold, empty eyes and replied, "I'm fine." That's when I realized her reaction wasn't about my friend at all. It was about her own pain, fear, and frustration. The man I'd known for years had been cheating on her, and today, his secret finally caught up with him. I didn't judge her. I felt sorry for her. All those dinners, all those lunches, all those memories, and none of it had been real. The weeks following my friend's death were hard. I missed him dearly. I missed our talks. I missed our jokes. I even missed our fights. It felt like a part of me was missing. So I did what any normal person would do. I started watching comedy videos to lift my spirits. I started spending time with friends. And as time passed, I began to feel a sense of normalcy return to my life. The anger that I had felt toward my friend's wife began to dissipate. Her actions had been driven by ego and self-interest. She was selfish, yes, but not malicious. Then one day, out of the blue, I received a call. It was my friend's wife. "I wanted to thank you," she said. "Thank you for being there for me." "Of course," I said. "I was there for my friend. I would do the same for you." "I know," she replied. "And I want you to know that I was being nice to you when I was yelling at you that day. I was scared. I thought he was alive. I thought I could save him. But when I realized he was gone, I lost control. I'm sorry for lashing out. I guess I needed to let go of the anger and the fear I felt toward David, but I took it out on you." I'm sorry. It's okay, I told her. I understand. You were scared. You just lost your husband. I'm sorry, too. I'm sorry for your loss. We talked for a few minutes longer and then we hung up. As the months went by, I began to heal. The pain of losing my friend didn't go away, but I learned to live with it. And that's when I realized something. Losing someone you love changes you. It challenges you to become a better version of yourself. It makes you appreciate the time you have with those you care about. It teaches you to cherish the present moment because you never know when it might be taken away. It gives you a new perspective on life. It pushes you to pursue your dreams with vigor because you realize life is too short to waste. It inspires you to make the most of every opportunity because you know that tomorrow is not promised. It strengthens your resolve to overcome obstacles because you understand that nothing is insurmountable. It motivates you to help others because you know what it's like to be in pain. It brings you closer to those who are dear to you because you realize how precious time is. In short, losing someone you love hurts, it tears you apart. But in the aftermath, you find strength, you find courage, you find compassion and empathy, you find motivation and inspiration, you find a sense of purpose, you find a reason to keep going, and most importantly, you find a sense of humor. You find the ability to laugh at the absurdity of life, because when you lose someone you love, you realize just how fragile life is and how precious every moment is. And you learn to embrace the present moment because you never know when it might be taken away. After losing my friend, I became obsessed with capturing life's precious moments. I started making videos, writing scripts, talking to camera. I was determined to leave my mark on the world. And now, almost 14 years later, I find myself sitting here in front of you, talking to a camera, sharing my story in hopes that it will inspire you to do the same. I know that my friend would be proud, and I know that if he were here today, he would be laughing right along with me. So here's to you, old friend. May your memory be a blessing, and may your laughter echo through eternity. Thank you for listening, and welcome to my channel.